Today, I'm going to be giving you a closer look at this wireless doorbell from MECO. Now this is kind of an upgraded model, and I've tried a lot of different wireless doorbells. There's features with this one that I really like that I wish others had. So there's a lot of cool things about this one. It comes with one transmitter, which is your actual doorbell button, and one receiver. Now with this one, you can actually pair to multiple receivers to one transmitter, or you can pair multiple transmitters. So that's kind of cool that you can buy in separate pieces and be able to hook them up to each other. So this piece, the receiver piece, needs to be plugged into a wall in order to work. When it's not plugged in, I can be ringing the doorbell all I want, and my LED light will come on here, but nothing's going to come through the receiver. So if you didn't want to hear the doorbell at all, or you do have volume controls on here, you could unplug this, and then no matter how many times somebody's ringing the doorbell, you won't hear it. So that's kind of nice if you want to have a doorbell like this, like say you have dogs at home, and when people come over and are maybe repeatedly ringing the doorbell, they freak out and stuff. So they could come over and ring the doorbell, and you could unplug this or turn the volume way down so it doesn't bother them. But let's give you a closer look at how this works. So you do have multiple volume controls. So on the side here, you've got volume control, and you've got a forward and a back button. Now these buttons are to scroll through all of your different song and sound selections. This is the only doorbell that's been wireless like this that has had multiple buttons. Usually they just have one, and that's what you scroll through. And it's kind of frustrating when you find one and you move forward and you want one that's two behind that, because you have to cycle through the whole way again. So this is nice that you can go back and forth with those buttons. So I definitely appreciate that. Another great thing with this one is typically when you plug this in and you set a ringtone, you have to go through and set your ringtone that you want on there to pair with this. You do need to pair, when you're setting that ringtone, you do need to pair with the actual transmitter itself. So you have to have that nearby. And I'll explain that in a minute. But once you set it on here, most ones, when you unplug them, they'll reset to their default when you plug it in again. So if it's a pain for you to keep setting this, and you've got young kids or children that come over to your house that like to unplug things from the walls, then you're going to have to reset it every time. Not with this one. Once you set it and pair to this, you are good to go. And the next time that you plug it in and someone rings the doorbell, it will be the one that you set. For volume selection, there are 4 different options for your volume. So I'll go ahead and play one, and I'll hit the volume button. Here's the next one, and the next, and the loudest, and then the most quiet selection there. When it comes to ringtones with this one, there are 52 different chimes and pieces. Most of them are full-on songs. Some are like different ding-dong sounds and things like that. So I'm going to scroll through and give you a sample. So that's a song that has little birds chirping. There's a lot of classical pieces in here. Standard doorbell. There are like holiday themes. There's some songs from movies. There's We Wish You Merry Christmas. So it's fun with this, that if you like your doorbell to be more standard sounds, but you want to put on fun songs for holidays, you can do that. Oh, Susanna. So most are pretty random. There are some songs from movies. There is Happy Birthday. Hey Jude, that was a Beatles song. That was like, hi, please open the door. Hello, welcome. Can't see myself using that. That sounds like an alarm that makes me a little nervous. Cuckoo clock sound. A rooster crowing. So you could use this in different ways. If you didn't want it for your doorbell and you wanted to wake your kids up or something, you can plug this into their room and hit the button to let them know when it's time to get up. What was that? Oh, a dog barking. So you can use these for like different alarms if you wanted to. One idea I have thought about with this is putting a receiver in I would have to get multiple receivers like this, but to put receivers into my children's bedrooms, and then in the morning I hit this button for my room or for wherever I am when it's time for them to get up, because they're not old enough that they're using alarm clocks yet. Standard doorbell sounds. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Happy birthday. I'm not really sure where we started, so I'll just keep going until it sounds like we've heard them all. So you can get a nice loud sound with this. So if you wanted to place it behind a piece of furniture or something, so that it couldn't be unplugged, you can still hear it if you set that on the loud setting. My Heart Will Go On from Titanic. Okay, I think that we're back from where we started. So you get the idea with the different sounds there. Now I'm going to be showing you how to set a ringtone from your receiver to your transmitter. Okay, so you can do this individually. If you decide to pair two receivers to one transmitter, you can choose a different song or sound on each receiver. And I will tell you that the instructions on this are not extremely clear how to do it. So if you're having trouble setting your receiver for the ringtone, I'm going to show you on here exactly how to do it. You do need to have your transmitter right by it. Okay, so in order to do this, you're either going to need to take this off of your house to bring it inside and reset it, or if you can take this outside and have it plugged in, either you run a power cord from the inside of your house or you plug it into the exterior of your house so that you're close by, so that as you're setting this, you need to, within seconds, be able to hit this, and I'll show you why in just a second. So the first thing that we want to do to set, okay, let me see what mine is set at right now. Okay. So that's what rings when I put it on there. So in order to put it into your setting mode, you're going to hold in this power, not the power button, the volume button. Okay, hold in the volume button until you hear a little ding. Do you hear that little ding, son? Okay, now go through and select a sound, and then you're going to hit the volume and the forward button, which is the one at the bottom, until it dings, and then hit your remote. Okay, and it's worked. So did you get that? Hold in the volume button here until you hear the little sound, and then go through, select your song, and then you'll hit volume and the forward button, which is the one at the bottom, not the one in the middle. So you're doing the volume and the button on the far middle, holding them in until you hear a little ba-bum, and then you need to hit the button on your transmitter before it does the ba-bum sound again. So I'll show you an example of not hitting the transmitter and how it will not reset, okay? So I'm going to hold in my volume button. Okay, it's made that sound. Now I'm going to scroll through using either of those scrolling buttons. Okay. And then I'm going to hold in my two buttons here. Okay, so see how it's flashing? This is where I need to hit my transmitter, but I've missed the opportunity and haven't hit it, and it's done that again, meaning that it's no longer in that pairing mode. And you can see that it did not reset. So let's try that, doing that correctly. Hold in the volume button. Okay, now scroll through and find your song. We wish you a Merry Christmas, okay? And I'll hold that in, and then hit my transmitter. And now it's reset. So anytime I push that, it'll do that. So that's the trick for you. Volume button until you hear the little dong, and then go through and pick your song. Volume button and forward button, which is on the bottom, until you hear the dong. And then you have a couple of seconds before you get that noise again. If you hear that noise again, that means that you've missed your opportunity to hit this. Okay, so you hold those two together until you hear the bling, then you need to go hit your transmitter button, and then when you push this, it should play the song you selected, and that's how you know that you've been successful in doing it. As long as you do it in that window of time before you hear the little sound go off, then you will be able to pair it successfully.
There are many different ways that you could use a wireless doorbell like this, but if you're going to use it as a standard doorbell on the outside of your house, you would take this receiver piece here with the button on it and mount it onto the outside of your house, keeping the receiver plugged in inside of your house. You have two different options for mounting. You can mount with a 3M strip that it comes along with, or you can mount with screws. As you can see, the packaging here, this comes along with the screws and the reinforcement for the screws, as well as a tiny little screwdriver. So you have all the tools that you need in order to mount this onto the outside of your house. Some things that I love about this doorbell that are unique to this model are that you have those two buttons for going both forward and backward when going through and selecting different songs. I love that when you pull it out of the wall, it doesn't go back to the original song, but whatever you set it as, whether it's unplugged or plugged back in later, it will stay on that set recording. In addition to using this as a standard doorbell, you could use this as a call button anywhere in your house, whether there's someone sick or you have an elderly person that lives with you, that they can press that button and be able to activate your receiver. You could put these alarms in your kids' rooms and ring the bell anytime that they're supposed to wake up in the morning or come out and meet for a family meal or things like that. So you have a lot of different options. You can be creative in using a wireless doorbell like this. Of course, naturally, it works well as a doorbell.